Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks everybody for joining us. Got probably a quick and easy one here for you this month, but just quick introductions for those that don't know. Most of you probably do. My name's Kurtis. I'm one of the customer success managers here at ZoomAssist. We also have Bill Baker today, sales manager, as well as senior manufacturing consultant. Today, we're going to be going over kind of a top-down, high-level view of purchase orders. Kind of we're calling it a purchase to payment, so just the process of submitting a purchase order and then submitting that payment to that purchase order is going to kind of be the finish line of that process. But throughout, if anyone has any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I think I gave everyone mic access, so if you just want to turn your mic on and interrupt me, feel free. Same thing for you too, Bill. If there's something that I glanced over that you want to kind of touch on, just interrupt me and we can touch on that real quick.
Yeah, just a quick reminder before you go. We've done some deeper dives, a little bit on planning. We probably anticipate some deeper dives in purchasing. But this session is going to be kind of meant to go through the overview, but hit us with your questions. And if we can't answer them today, we'll get back to you because imagine there might be some deeper dive accounting stuff or purchasing stuff come up. But yeah, let's roll.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like what Bill was saying, this one probably won't take the whole hour. So there should be a good amount of time. If there's anything that you guys want to take a deeper jump into to see a little bit more of, just let us know. But to kick us off, what we're going to do first is we're going to submit a PO. So we're going to go over here to PO.E. And then from here, we're just going to do a quick load of our information. We're going to go over to vendor. For this one, we're going to use our guys over at Acme. So we'll put our vendor number in. We'll see, Acme, contact, see our payment terms, tax codes, dates, any sort of notes. If you want to add any notes for this PO, you can add that here as well. From there, what we'll do is we're just going to go in and start adding some line items here for some parts. So we'll just click some parts. We're going to use this wheel here as an example. We're going to go ahead and put our date in. Fun fact, if you didn't know, if you just type in D, it'll give you today's date. It will preload your price as well. We're going to buy 50 of these.
Yeah. Just a quick note there. We're probably not going to go into it, but POPRICE.E, that's the POPRICE file. That's kind of where the price is maintained. So if you have price breaks with vendors, etc., that if you have it in there, it's automated in PO entry. Just a refresher there. So yeah.
Yep. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and add a couple more parts to this PO here. We'll go ahead and we'll add this wheel too. Put our date in there. Buy 100 of these. And then just for fun, we'll add one more part. And put our date in. Buy 35. So this is usually kind of what, your base purchase order is going to look like. You can go over to, your detailed line items, look at by line, add different line notes that you want to add. But we'll keep it simple today. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and we'll save this PO. And if we want to, you can print the PO form. You can save it to PDF, fax it, all that, email it. And then just to show you kind of what it would look like, 689. Full of. So this is kind of what your purchase order would look like if you were to, save it. Looks very similar to what it did in Rover. You have your vendor here, your ship to information, and then your parts, quantity, unit price, extended price, and then your total price down here. So that's kind of what your purchase order would look like. And then from here, if you wanted to, let's say this is a common purchase that you make, what you could do is instead of going through the whole process again, you can actually load the last PO you did, and enter, boom. Just have to re-put in your date again, your quantities, but it'll preload all those parts for you and the order information. Oops. So we'll go ahead and make this one as well.
Okay, Kurtis, so I can jump in real quick. If we can go to the line detail before you file that, we can come back to it. Go ahead.
Yep.
Just load up to 6,900 or 60.
What was it? 6890? No.
60. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, just jump over the detail. I just want to call out really quick, on this detail in that kind of schedule section on the top right there. This is the way you can cut a blanket PO. This is also a way you can break out a line into schedule dates. That's a pretty common just use case. So just a very light kind of reminder about kind of what functionalities there on the detail line. And then bottom left, we give you the ability to receive directly to a work order. This could be material or outside processing, and then a sales order or a project. So just those are just some things to highlight there. And then below we've got line notes and receipts. So as things are received, they're going to get populated there in the bottom right as well. So just a quick segue there, Kurtis. Go ahead.
Yep. Cool. So that's pretty much super simple process of submitting a PO and creating a PO. So from there, we've submitted our PO to our vendor, and now we've received the shipment has arrived. So now we're going to receive all those pieces and those parts. So we go to RECEIPTS.E. What we can do here is we put in our PO number, so 6890. Right here we have actually no 68. Can't remember my numbers. 6899. There we go. So we'll load up our parts that we had on that PO number, the quantity that was ordered. So from here, you can kind of go through and manually click the quantity that you received, or you can hit this button here, receive all. So once you verify that your shipment is complete, you have all the parts that you ordered, you can hit receive all. Let's see, quantity received 50, 100, 35. If you wanted to, you could input here your lot number, your bin number, serial number on any parts that you track those pieces on. You're also going to want to put in your packing slip here that you receive with that shipment, and maybe the receipt. But from here, once you have, so once you receive all you pretty much do from here is you save. So if you wanted to, you could print the receipt traveler, kind of the same thing as the PO.
Yeah, just a point there. I mean, if you're doing some kind of three-way match, we're showing you the PO print. We can, print this traveler that accompanies the receipt. You have the packing slip, and then later the invoice will come, so you can match those documents up. You can use these. This traveler might be useful on the floor if you're doing receiving, inspection, moving it later to stock, that kind of thing. So.
Yep. So again, pretty simple process here on the .NET. And then if we wanted to also do receiving on the web, let's say you got someone out there with a tablet, you could go into your Rover web client, go over to your purchase orders, and then right here you see we have our PO ID 6900 here, or you can manually enter it here. But we'll click on this one. This is another PO that we made that we duplicated. Again, same thing with all the parts here. You can hit receive all to receive all if you wanted to. Clear all. A cool feature on the web as well. So on this part, we had 50 scheduled to receive. Let's say we only got 48. It'll flag yellow to let you know, hey, you're a bit short on this part here. Same thing if you go over, flag red, say, hey, we received too many of this part. So kind of just a cool little feature here that will help you guys if you're, under receiving or receiving that way. You have a quick heads up. Hey, I don't have the right number of parts. So same thing, we'll just receive all. We'll enter our packing slip number.
Kurtis, just a second.
Yep.
Jeanette, raising your hand. Do you have a question? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a curious. When you receive in a part and you realize that the accounting location is incorrect, can you change that on the receiver, or do you have to go back into the purchase order and start all over?
So if it's received in the incorrect location,
Yeah, I have a location for tooling and I have a location for work in process. And most of the time it gets received into work in process when it should have gone into tooling. So usually I have to reverse my receiver and then reverse my purchase order and then put it in properly and then go back through all the steps. So I was wondering if when I'm receiving and I notice that it's incorrect, can I change the receiving location at that time?
I see. So typically speaking, the receipt location is entered on the PO. So it has to be adjusted on the PO to come in automatically. But we can get back to you if there's if there's other ways to do that. But you're right. The process right now, you have to reverse the receipt, update the PO, and then receive it to the proper location. So
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. And I'm just curious if anybody else wants to kind of mention that in the chat that they would like to see that. That would be interesting for our team to know if that's a feature we want to see. That like you can adjust the PO receive to location in the receipt entry screen. So cool. All right.
Gravy?
Yep.
Cool. Yep. So for this case, we're just going to go ahead and say that we received everything perfectly as we ordered it. Receive all. We'll go ahead and
Just
hit
before you
save.
hit that. Oh,
Too
yeah.
late.
All right. No
What's
problem.
up?
No, I just want to show the line detail. Let's go into another PO after and show the way you can receive lot if you're lot controlled
Yeah.
or bin controlled, how you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So again, same layout as you saw on the .NET version. Lot number, vendor lot number, bin number, receipt notes. These are view only notes. So they would come up. These would be the notes that come over from your PO.E entry. So you won't be able to add anything here. This is a view only box. But here you have the PO notes version, but for the receipts notes. So very similar process to receiving in the web or the .NET client, the desktop client, but it's a little bit simpler, a little bit more modern. So now that we have received all of these stuff that we purchased, we're going to go ahead and post that for accounting. So we'll go into receipts.p1.
Yeah, just most of our Rover businesses that users are putting this on a service that runs at the end of the day or something. So just a reminder there. I think most people are aware, but you can adjust the receipt that's in the new status that hasn't posted yet. Then this process usually runs at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Or you can run it manually if you want, but that's gonna adjust it to post it, and then it's kind of lives, in accounting at that point, and more difficult to kind of undo.
Yep. Yeah. And to Bill's point, most of this, or at least this posting of receipts is going to be done automatically by your job ID setup. But just for the sake of this, we'll go ahead and do it manually. So we'll put our receipt ID in. So it's 6891-1. We'll just run a process. And there you got 6899-1 posted. So pretty simple here. Like Bill was saying, most of this process is going to be done automatically. But just for this purpose, just wanted to show you guys that real quick. So now that that's done, it's going to go over to AP. So I will let Bill take over that portion and walk you guys through from there.
Okay. Okay. So AP entry, if we have entered a receipt in, we create like a pre-ID that kind of makes it easier, automates some of the process where when you load that receipt that Kurtis just posted, it's going to come in automatically with the PO number, the packing slip info from the receipt. It's going, it's all the terms, everything automatically default, and the line items will be preloaded. So that's what most of our users do. So we're going to basically enter an invoice number here. We're going to enter the date and then the payment amount. Just jump here real quick. Okay. Invoice amount, I'm not quite sure. I don't remember what that PO was, but it's going to be something similar. But a good point here is, often, you're going to have freight charges. You can specify the amount or the account on the line item. If they short pay something or if they pay a different price, you have the option here to assign it to a variance account. You'll see here, this example is standard cost. So we're automatically putting part of this into the variance account when it's received, because the cost the price we paid was higher than the cost. So that's what basically, AP entry allows us. We'll go ahead and, okay, we're going to get a warning here. So basically, in order to balance this, we're going to have to, address that issue before it will file. Okay, so that's AP entry. All right, and then the next step we're going to be looking at is part of the payment process. So we're going to go to AP.P1. Okay, and what we're going to be doing here is creating pre-checks. Okay, so there's a lot here. We have the option here to basically run the date we're paying, the date the checks are basically effective. We can run a cutoff date. We can specify which vendors we're writing pre-checks for. We can leave it open. Probably the most common use case in our experience is we're going to come over here. We also have if we right click in the APID, we can open items for a specific vendor. We can open items for all vendors and then select what records we're paying for. So in this case, I'm going to open up kind of for all, and I'm going to go ahead and select that. Let's say we're going to pay these 2 entries for Acme for the moment. We're going to select them, APIDs come in, and then basically we're going to run. Okay, and we have options here. We can resort by vendor if you have a lot of items and you want to look at it. We can also look at an entry recap before, just to make sure we know the total amount we're basically paying here, and then we're just going to run it. Okay. So this is going to, you can see this, we created, since we processed 2 AP items, we're going to process 1 check, and that check ID is 54. Okay. If you're doing a ton of these though, a lot of our customers use prechecks.R1. So if we go ahead and open that up and we run this, we're going to run it wide open. You can specify a specific check run in there, which would, be logical at times. So this is what we're looking at here. So now I'm just going to scroll to the bottom to look at the check run that we just made. It's going to give us our pre-check. It's going to also, this is very important because we've done these before. So you could run this report for prior, and we can, if it's been ran before, we can see actual checks and whether the checks have been posted or not for our check runs. In this case, though, we haven't done this yet. So you'll notice it's not posted yet. We don't have any checks. This is just a way to kind of evaluate what's out there in terms of checks before we do anything further. Okay. And if you notice an issue with a pre-check, then we have prechecks.E, which is going to give you the ability. So let's say there was a problem with this, this 54, we can adjust amounts, we can adjust the discounts, etc. Through prechecks.E. So one other just thing to highlight is in your process, you might have a check approval process. And if you do, then, I'm going to go over here to AP.control. If we require approval for checks, we would check that box. And then there is a prechecks.E2 screen that is a check run approval box. Okay, so you might want to incorporate that into your process. You can talk to us more if you don't, and if you want to know how to, etc. Okay, so now we've seen kind of the pre-checks, and we should be at the point where we're ready to print. So checks.F2, most commonly used for printing laser checks. And here, I'm going to go back to our report here. Okay, I'm gonna actually I'll probably just run this wide open here, but we'll just show you kind of what this looks like on a PDF. I need to specify, sorry, a starting check and possibly a run. Let me go back to our report here. Okay. So let's say we're going to do run 940. Okay, and then here you're going to give it the starting check number based on when your last check ended. All right, here we are. So this is just kind of what the check form, the laser check form looks like. You'll notice that, probably very familiar with that if you have, 50 of these. Um, you know, probably a very, the next step in the process, as you guys probably have experienced sometimes, there might be an issue with the printing. So that before the check is posted, basically you have, we require the posting step here. And at this point, we can, we can basically post all the checks. Again, we're gonna give it the check run number, and then we can put a range of checks in here. So let's say you've got to run 50 checks and 45 of them printed. Maybe you're only going to post 1 to 45 here. Then we're going to go back and reprint the 46 to 50 checks. So in this case, we're just going to post the whole check run. Okay. Now this check's been posted, so effectively, that's the kind of end of the payment process. Just a note here, I think sometimes we can do an ACH payment, as well. That's kind of there's been some other videos if you check out our YouTube channel on that, or you can ask us any questions about that. So at this point, Curtis, we don't have any questions yet, right?
Nope.
Okay. The last thing I wanted to cover today for everybody was that you might want to incorporate a requisition process in your PO creation. So we kind of saved it for the end, but we do have, POREC.E is a place where you can give users the ability to, it's very similar to that purchase order entry, but you're giving users access to the ability only to requisition items. So very similar entry process. We have line items, summary items, and then we just have this approved by and approved date field, which is going to be based on your PO control. Okay. If we go in here into the PO rec parameters tab, this is where you're going to say kind of what users in the system have the ability to approve purchase recs, and then what their dollar limit for approval is. So if you're looking to incorporate that into your process, that's kind of how you do that, and can, help you with that if you have any questions. So that is what we know. At least there's more to know for sure, but this is what we want to share today about kind of the process of, purchase order entry to payment. Curtis, I don't know if you have anything to add or if we have any questions from the group.
Yeah, no, nothing else from my end. Like I said, I mean, this one might be quicker than some others. I think Jeanette has another question. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeanette, go ahead.
You're muted if you're talking.
Okay, Jeanette, I'm not sure if you could put in the chat or unmute yourself, I think. Yeah, Corey, great question. It's a good opportunity. Anybody on the call, anything we
Okay,
want
I'm
to
here
see
now.
in the next masterclass?
Oh,
Go ahead,
there she
Jeanette.
is.
Okay, hi. I come from I'm the controller here at our company, and accounting is I'm very particular about my accounting. And I don't know why purchase orders have the ability to actually control the accounting, because accounting should come from the account numbers, and the GL should come from the accounting office, not from the purchasing department. So I don't know why the PO purchases to the GL when it is purchased or when it is posted. Because when it does that, I have to go in and I have to reverse it. And then I get a GL that looks like in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, just to make these corrections instead of having one clean entry. And on
Okay,
an accounting point of view, it's very disconcerting.
Okay. So, Jeanette, we're saying that the way that the accounting works in Rover for purchase order entry, you'd like to see some flexibility there or ability to configure so that it's not posting. Right now you're doing journal entries, is it?
Well, no,
After?
it's just when you post a receiver, that
Okay.
receiver automatically goes to the general ledger. It posts the expense, it posts the inventory or wherever it's going to go. Okay. Now, if we decide, like I said earlier, that it went to the wrong account, I have to reverse that receiver. So now I've did a reversed entry in my general ledger. And then I have to put it in again correctly. So now I have another entry in my general ledger. So now I have 3 entries for one item. And unfortunately, in my company, this happens quite often because the people who are doing my purchase orders don't know the GL accounting system. So they go, oh, this looks like it goes into, I don't know, maintenance. So I'll just put it in maintenance when actually it should have went to accounting or it should have went to inventory. So I'm constantly reversing and posting and reversing and posting. And from all my years in accounting, I've never posted anything to accounting or anything to the GL until the accountant or the accounting person had a chance to verify all the general ledger numbers. And this happens on all the steps because the work orders work the same way. And all of those types of things. And to find the ins and outs of the credits and debits for each posting is quite difficult. So when I go to look at a purchase order, I have to see where the credit went and I have to go into the purchase order. And then from that purchase order, I have to go to the receiver. And then from the receiver, I have to go into the accounts payable. And from the accounts payable, I have to go in to the check. So that's 4 different places I have to look for one GL, for one item.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it should be the accounts payable has all the expenses on it, and then it has an accounts payable offset, and then the check offsets the accounts payable. Should be 2 entries per piece and not 5.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I think.
mean, I know you guys come from the manufacturing side, and I know they don't ask a lot of us accountants as to how it should look, but we're used to more than just 2-sided accounting. Because sometimes when you do accounting, you have 5 items that add up to one location instead of inventory location, inventory location, inventory location, inventory location. It could be
Understood.
all of these things inventory and then just one location.
Yep.
That all balance. But as it sits right now, everything's 1 for 1 and it makes for a messy GL.
Okay. This is great feedback. First of all, we really appreciate you bringing it up. And I think we should definitely Kurtis, let's take a note and we'll let's get something scheduled with you because I'd like to know more about it, Jeanette. I will tell you that we've got, I'm not sure if you're familiar how the sales accounts are configured through the MRK code. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. We have recently been working in our product development, making basically inventory account configurable that in that fashion too, more flexible. So you could have one location, but you could have the inventory account configured based on the MRK code. And since MRK code can be attributed to parts, you can basically get part specific with where you want it. Okay. So I would be curious what further we would have to do to kind of take a similar approach in the receiving location. Though I feel like that's what we're talking about here. I would want to talk through it with you and make sure that's the case. That because I know when purchasing, we might be buying inventory items, I know that this new development would probably fix that for you. But if it's non-inventory items, I'm not sure if we would be stepping on the accounting toes there as well. So, yeah,
Well,
let's do that.
Anything we buy, we usually buy through a purchase order, whether it be just, office supplies or an inventory item. So they have to be put in different categories. And like the purchase department, they say, okay, office supplies, and they throw everything in office supplies. But if you have a computer and you have pens, those are two different accounts, and they don't know that. So then we have to change that, and therein the mess comes. And a lot of purchasing departments don't know anything about general ledger.
Okay.
And we can't just dump it all into one account.
Yep. I know, I feel you on that, and I know we have you covered with the inventory location enhancement that we're talking about. I think it's just making sure that's the case, because yes, I totally get what you're saying there. It's and it's probably been a long, we're excited about it, because I think you are voicing kind of, there's a lot of accounting groups have, probably feel the same way, as indicated by this meeting too. So good. Okay.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your answers.
Yep. Great feedback. Okay. Any other comments or questions before we close today?
Don't close until someone gives us a suggestion.
Are we gonna hold everyone here?
Yeah.
We just got a great one for you.
No. For
No,
the
to
next
his
master class.
question.
Oh, master class. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you guys want to see? What do we need? What do you need help any area understanding? What would be a good topic for the next master class? Send it to us after, or if you have an idea now.
Just in chat. Better. Come on, Eric, save us, man.
Eric's trying to get around it. Work
order scheduling. Okay.
Love it. Any others? Feel free to throw them in chat so we can start to build it out and put them into the schedule. But this is for you guys.
Yeah. All right.
Well, if you guys think of one after the fact, feel free to, reach out to myself or Bill, let us know. We can put it on the calendar. We could talk through it if we need. But if no one else has any other questions, we keep this one short and sweet this month. But I appreciate all of you showing up and listening to me and Bill rant for 34 minutes. Hope you learned maybe a little bit of something.
All right. Thanks, Kurtis. Thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you next month. And just a reminder, you'll probably see some notifications. We do have an AI webinar series kind of starting next week. So you'll pick that up as well as the master class.
Not next week. Next week, the 30th. Sign up for the AI webinar. It's shoot, it would have been better if I would have prepped on this. But there.
You looking for the dates?
No, it's the 30th, but I was looking for the registration page.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Here, I got it.
I think that's the joining, but
you sent it to
okay, there it is.
Yeah, that's the join. But that's the AI webinar coming up. Just we're going to go through how to build your own custom assistant or GPT. Give you kind of the framework, the build framework behind it, so that to take away any kind of mystery around it. But how to get AI to work for you and get the results, and we'll look at building an intelligent report, which is just being able to run these reports through AI so that it comes through and provides you with the feedback that you're already looking for. So hope to save you and the rest of your team time, and then to open it up just to any conversations on what you'd like to see kind of AI do for you. That's what I got.
Sweet. Thanks, Corey.
Thanks, everyone.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week.